Yo, what's really good, my people? Kiwami Games here, back at it with another video for you guys. And in today's video, I want to do something that a lot of you have asked me, and that's an update to my vampire guide video that I did a few months ago. However, I want to do something different, and I thought, what if I start a mini series where I break down each vampire card so that you guys can learn how to use them to their full potential. And in today's video, we are going to break down the big homie himself, Vampire Voivode. Now, my hope for this video is to show you how to use each of his effects in different scenarios so that whenever you're using vampires, you'll be aware of what to do in certain situations. So let's go over each effect, and then I'll show you guys some gameplay where I use each effect so that you can get a visual explanation as well. And then I'll try to touch on all of the nuances that goes into play when you're trying to use Vampire Voivode. So without further ado, let's jump right into this business. Alright, my people, so let's look at his first effect. His first effect is that if this card is normal summoned, you can target up to 2 monsters in your opponent's graveyard, special summon those monsters to your field in defense position, but their effects are negated. So what makes this a great effect is because if we look at Dampier has an effect says that if you use a monster or monsters with a level that is owned by your opponent for the XZ summon of this card, you can treat it as a level 6. Same thing for the zombie vampire. Instead of treating it as a level 6, you'll treat it as a level 8. So that means that as long as you can steal 2 of your opponent's monsters, you can make either the zombie vampire or the Dampier without them having to be their original levels. So you can steal 2 level 1 monsters, you can steal 2 level 3 monsters, whatever it is, and it's going to allow you to make these 2 XZ monsters. So that's one great ability that Voivode has, and it's probably the most used effect. Alright, and then the second one is that when a monster's effect is activated while a monster with its same name is in the graveyard, you can negate the activation. So technically this is kind of like a pseudo call by the grave. Whenever your opponent hits you with like an Ash Blossom or any hand trap that activates in the hand but resolves in the graveyard, you can negate it. Same thing if there's like a monster that activates in the graveyard, like a Promethean Princess or something like that, you can also negate it. So that makes this card also really great in today's meta, as there's a lot of graveyard effects that are taking place. And then the third effect that doesn't come up a whole lot is that if a monster is special summoned from your opponent's graveyard, you can tribute 2 monsters and then you can special summon this card from your graveyard. Alright, so those are the effects, and I'm going to show you the first 3 effects because the third one, special summon him from the graveyard, doesn't come up a whole lot. And what really sucks about this one is that because it's a special summon that's going to take place, so it doesn't synergize, it doesn't have any synergy with Vampire Sucker effect that allows you to use your opponent's monsters as tribute, because you have to tribute summon and not special summon. So that's the only thing that sucks about Voivode's last effect. So without further ado, let's just jump into some gameplays, because there's a couple setups that needs to happen in order for you to use its effect to its full potential. Replay, I'm going to show you how to use, well, how to get Voivode into the hand. So it's going to be your, pretty much your starting vampire combo that you always want to open up with. Unfortunately, it is a 2-card combo, but what are we going to do about it, you know? So you're always going to want to have Vampire Ghost and 1 more Vampire Monster. Ideally, you want to have Familiar or Retainer, and this is going to get you your Vampire combo. So first, we're going to normal summon our Ghost. Then we're going to send the Familiar to the graveyard. And then we're going to get Sorcerer. So you always want to get Sorcerer. Okay, then we're going to send the Retainer. Then we're going to activate Familiar, send the Sorcerer to the graveyard, special summon Familiar, and then we're going to search Voivode. Alright, and then now we're going to activate Retainer, send Ghost to the graveyard, special summon our Doggy, and then we're going to get hit with the Effect Veiler. Alright, now very quickly I'm going to pause here. So this is what you want. You want to have Voivode in hand, and you want to have Vampire Ghost, and you want to have Vampire Sorcerer in graveyard. So very quickly, why do we want to have these 2 cards in the graveyard? So let's read Sorcerer first. It says you can banish this card from your graveyard. 1 dark vampire monster you normal summon this turn can be summoned without tributing. But we already used up our normal summon. So that's where Vampire's Ghost graveyard effect comes into play. So let's read it. It says during the main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, pay 500 life points. Immediately after this effect resolves, you can normal summon one vampire monster. So what you want to do in this case is you first want to activate Sorcerer's effect. Alright, so this is going to allow you to normal summon a vampire without having to pay tribute. And then the game is going to ask you if you want to chain link Ghost. Click no. Make sure you click no. Always click no. You want to activate Ghost effect manually. Okay, so then after Sorcerer activates, then you're going to activate Ghost. So let's see that take place. Alright, so we're going to get negated by the Veiler. Alright, and then here we're going to go into the Vampire Sucker. Alright, and then I'm going to try to steal his effect Veiler so that I can draw a card, but we're going to get hit with another effect Veiler, which is good. It's all good. It's all good. Alright, so now we activate Sorcerer. And then here the game is going to ask you, do you want to chain link Ghost? Make sure you click no. Say no. You don't want to chain link nothing. Alright. And then now we're going to activate Ghost effect. Okay, so now we can normal summon Voivode. And now we can activate Voivode's first effect. So the first effect is that when it's normal summon, you can steal 2 monsters from your opponent's graveyard. And then you can special summon them to your field. So we're going to steal his 2 effect Veilers. Alright, and then now with these 2 monsters, even though they're level 1s, we can go into our Zombie Vampire. Okay, then we can activate the Zombie Vampire, and then this card is really amazing because you can detach 1 materia from this card, then you're going to mill the top 4 cards of each player's deck, and then you can special summon any of those monsters that get milled. So this card right here can help you to OTK if you're going second. It can help you, steal any problematic monster that your opponent may have in the graveyard. So it's very, very versatile card. Alright, but we're going to get hit with the Ash Blossom. And then here we can activate Voivode's second effect. So this is the pseudo Call by the Grave effect. So because the Ash Blossom activated in the hand, but it's going to resolve in the graveyard, we can now negate it with the Voivode. So this is what I mean that it can negate hand traps. Alright, so then we mill and our opponent is going to scoop. Alright, so that's the general basis of Vampire in combination with Voivode. I showed you the primary Vampire starting combo, which is Ghost and any other Vampire monster that you may have. And then I showed you how to get Voivode, and then I showed you how to use Voivode's 2 effects to go into Vampire, the Zombie Vampire, and how to negate hand traps. Alright, so now let's check up another scenario where we can do the same thing. Alright, my people, now in this replay I'm going to show you how Vampire Sucker, Zombie World, and Vampire Voivode work together. Okay, so I want to show you the synergy that these 3 cards have. Alright, so in this replay we're going to go up against, I believe it was Labyrinth. Alright, so now we're using Vampire Horrors, and if you would like to learn how to play Vampire Horrors, I have a video up on the channel, so make sure you guys go check it out. Alright, so I'm just going to fast forward this so that we can get into the greedy of things. Alright, so here we're going to send the Red Baron to the graveyard, special summoning our Retainer so that we can search for our Omni Negate Trap card. Alright, and since our opponent hit us with the Maxi, I'm going to stop it there. Alright, so now he has the Barrier Statue, so this is going to prevent me from special summoning only Dark Monsters. Okay, so we're going to fast forward this. We drew into Voivode. Alright, he's going to hit me with the Ghastly Fiend, getting rid of my Imseti. I'm going to negate the Ariane with the Ghost Mourner. Alright, then I'm going to send the Water one, what is it? The Duel. But because of this card right here, I cannot special summon it. Alright, so now we drew into the Banshee, so I'm going to normal summon the Banshee. I'm going to get rid of the Barrier Statue. He's going to activate the Rumor Cannon. So I'm going to quick effect get rid of the Banshee so that I can get Zombie World onto the field. Alright, so now we got Zombie World on the field. Alright, he's gonna special summon the Lady Labyrinth. And I can bring back the Dumatef. Alright. Alright, so now that we have Zombie World on the field and our opponent has a zombie monster on his side of the field, we can now try to break his board using Voivode. So first I'm going to bring back the Horus card. So now I have 2 zombie monsters on the field. So that means I can now go into my Vampire Sucker. Alright, but first we're going to send Ghost to the graveyard. Then we're going to special summon our other Horus monster. So now we're going to go into the Vampire Sucker. Alright, and then this is another scenario that you want to set up. So you want to have Vampire Sucker on the field. And you want to have Zombie World on the field. And if you want to have Ghost on the field. And the reason why you want to have Ghost in the graveyard, not the field, my mistake, is because during your opponent's turn, you can also activate Ghost effect, which is going to allow you to normal summon 1 vampire monster from your hand. So during your opponent's turn, you can also do this effect and you can break their boards that way as well. But now that we have Sucker on the field, that means that I can use my opponent's monsters as tribute for my Vampire Voivode summon. Now in this case, he only has one zombie monster on the field, so I'm going to have to use the Mseti and the Lady Labyrinth. But in any other situations where your opponent may have 2 monsters, then you can use both of their monsters to do this. Alright, so now we can tribute summon these monsters, and then we can activate Voivode's effect, steal 2 of his monsters. Alright, and then since monster was special summoned from the graveyard, then the Vampire Sucker can draw a card. And then here our opponent is going to hit us with Nibiru. So now Nibiru resolves in the hand, so that means that the Voivode is not going to be able to negate. But we have our Omni Negate trap card, so we can negate the Nibiru. Alright, and then he's going to scoop. Alright, and then what I was going to do here, we could have gone again into the Zombie Vampire, mill full card, special summon a monster, and he has an open field, so we would have definitely been able to OTK. But here I just wanted to show you how Zombie World, Vampire Sucker, and Voivode work together. Alright, so let's check out one last Alright, my people. So let's check out one more replay showcasing some more Vampire Voivode action. Alright, and I apologize if you guys hear some baby noises again. That's my son. He's chilling back here. Alright. Alright, so we're going to go sort of like a mirror match. I'm going to fast forward this, just so that we can get into the things. Alright, so our opponent, he's going to copy us. He's going to go into the Zombie Vampire. He's going to mill 4, and he's going to steal my Scarlet Scorch. Alright, so here I'm going to activate Mseti, and I'm going to send the Retainer to the graveyard. So he's going to activate Call by the Grave, negating the Mseti. But this was all good because I already have a King Sarcophagus in the hand. So I just wanted to bait out any potential negates. Alright, then he's going to hit me with the Maxi. So now here I knew I'm either going to have to pass turn or I'm going to have to OTK. Okay, so we're going to send the Dumatef to the graveyard, send the Happy to the graveyard, special summon the Happy, special summon the Dumatef. Alright, then we're going to activate Sorcerer's Effect, and because I haven't normal summoned yet, so now I can normal summon Voivode without having to pay tribute. Okay, and then once again, we're going to steal 2 of his monsters. So we're going to steal his Mseti and we're going to steal his Nibiru. Alright. And then in this case, I'm going to go actually into Dampier. Now my opponent, he's going to scoop. So before he scoops, this is why I want to go into Dampier. So first, because I have the King Sarcophagus and I have Horus monsters on the field, that means that whenever I attack one of his monsters, I can activate the King Sarcophagus effect and I can send one of them to the graveyard. And then also the Dampier. So Dampier has an effect that once per turn, you can detach 1 material from this card, then you can target 1 card your opponent controls, and then you can send it to the graveyard. And it doesn't have to be a monster, it can be a spell, a trap, or field spell, or anything. But I was gonna get rid of his other monster that way. So I was gonna get rid of his monster with the Horus build, the King Sarcophagus, and the other monster I was gonna get rid of with the Dampier. So that's why I go into Dampier instead of Zombie Vampire this turn. And then his second effect is that once per turn, if a monster is sent from the field to the graveyard by card effect, or if it's destroyed by battle and sent to your opponent's graveyard, you can detach 1 material from this card and then you can special summon it to your side of the field. Unfortunately, it has to go into defense position, but anyways, so that's another way that you can use Dampier to steal monsters, which can then allow you to go into Zombie Vampire as well. But our opponent, he kind of sees what I'm about to do and he's just going to scoop. All right. And there you have it, guys. So I hope I'm able to show you how Vampire Voivode works. So let's just jump back into the deck list and we'll have some final thoughts. Alright, my people, so welcome to the end of the video. If this was useful in any shape or form, then please consider dropping a like, as it will help the video circulate around YouTube and all of that. And if you would like to see more vampire related content or anything related to vampires, hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss my next video. And yeah, I hope that I was able to cover how to play, or rather how to use Vampire Voivode. If there are any other things that you feel that like I might have missed out, or anything that it's still not clear to you guys, then feel free to drop it down in the comments below and I will get to you as quickly as I can. And as I mentioned, I would like to kind of start this series where I can kind of go over all of the vampire cards. So today I wanted it to start with a Vampire Voivode, but you guys can let me know down below which of other vampire cards you would like for me to break down in my next video. I don't know, maybe it can be like the Dampier, for example. Dampier is a pretty cool card. Or anything else that you would like to learn about vampires. I really want to make these videos for you guys, because every time I drop a vampire video, you guys just smash that like button like crazy and I end up getting most of my views. So I wanted to do something for you guys. So let me know what you guys think. If it was useful, what else would you like for me to cover? Drop it down below. That is it from me, Kiwami Games. Peace out. In this last replay, this is just some sort of comedic relief, so you guys can just sit back, relax, and enjoy this little replay. I'm not gonna talk over it. I'm just going to let you guys enjoy it. So yeah, but I guess the last thing I would say is that evenly matched goes hard.